Ever since I started doing these videos of my songs, I've been thinking a lot about my music lately. And sometimes that can be depressing because I didn't make it, I didn't get to where I wanted to be. But this morning, I woke up and I was thinking about a particular incident that happened, and I got these letters. It was in 1995 and 1996. And I wanted to tell you the story about these letters. But first, I need to give you a quick history of my music journey. I've always loved music. I love singing. I've been singing since I was a kid. When I was in ninth grade, I had a crush on this girl, and I would make her these tapes of me singing, and I really hope those have all been destroyed. That led me into getting into choir in high school. I sang in men's choir, concert choir, junior choir, madrigals, um, and I did that for quite a while, choir music and everything. And I didn't really do anything after high school for about 4 or 5 years after I graduated. I was going through a rough time, and my uncle was trying to help me. And he came over one day and he said, "Hey, you like to sing, right?" And so he ended up taking me to the bar and doing karaoke, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with singing again, and I did that for a while. And I just kind of got tired of singing other people's songs, and I wanted to do my own music. So I started writing my own songs, and then I had to learn how to play guitar because I didn't have anyone else to play the music for me. So I did that for a while, and then it was around 1995 that this new show came out, and it was a talent show for musicians called Charlie Daniels Talent Roundup. It was very similar to You Can Be a Star. And so I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I went into the studio, I recorded 3 songs, and I sent it to Charlie Daniels Talent Roundup. Didn't really expect anything. And then it was a few months later, I got this letter. I got this letter right here. And it said, "Dear Christopher, congratulations. You have been selected to do a video audition for Charlie Daniels Talent Roundup. Only the best musicians are asked to audition, and needless to say, this is the toughest part of the whole show. The purpose of the audition is to see how you handle a camera situation." And so when I got this letter, I can tell you, to say I was excited would be the biggest understatement ever. I mean, I was so sure this was it. This was my big break. So in 1996, I flew to Nashville for the very first time, and I was living in this dream, and I was hungry. And I was hungry because I was broke. I came out here, I used every bit of money I had to fly out here and to get oh my gosh, the worst motel room you could ever think of. I didn't even have money for transportation, so I had to walk from my hotel room to TNN Studios to do the camera audition. And in fact, on the last day before I had to go home, I had no money. I had to sneak onto a bus at the Opryland Hotel just to get back to the airport. Yeah, it was bad. Um, so I get back from the camera audition, and I'm waiting and waiting, and a couple months go by, and unfortunately, I get this second letter right here, and it says, "Dear Christopher, regretfully, production of the Charlie Daniels Talent Roundup has been suspended. What this means is that TNN has not at this point renewed the show. While the show has not been canceled, there are no present plans to tape further episodes. We thank you for coming to our office to audition for the show, and we're very sorry there is no show on which we can utilize your talents." Man. So there I was. My dream was crushed. I mean, I put so much hope into that experience. I was so sure it was going to be the thing that got me going. But as devastated as I was, I didn't stop music. I mean, I kept writing songs, I kept singing karaoke, I entered these weekly contests, and I even won one of the contests, and I got to go to Branson, Missouri and sing one of my songs to open the Mo Bandy show. And I met Mo, and he was really cool, and he told me to keep focusing on songwriting. And, you know, I was on local TV quite often. I even got one of my songs played on the radio. And then in 1997, I had 9 songs. I released an independent CD, and I put out a flyer looking for a band. And there just so happened to be this band that their singer was going to be quitting soon, and they needed to replace him. So I lucked out and got in that band. I was in that band for about 3 years before I moved to Nashville. And when I got to Nashville the second time, it just it just wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be. I had this whole thing built up in my mind of what it was going to be, and it wasn't just the music. There was there's sort of some stuff going on in my life, and so things just weren't like they were supposed to be. And so that made it really hard to get any traction doing anything. I sang at the Bluebird Cafe on open mic nights. I did open mic nights at the Wild Horse Saloon, but it just none of that ever went anywhere. I even fronted a Christian band. I was the lead singer for that, and we put out a CD that raised money to help the homeless in Nashville. So, you know, even though things did not work out like I wanted them to. Sorry, this is really emotional for me to talk about sometimes. Even though things didn't work out like I wanted them to, when I look back on it all as a whole, as a collective, I mean, it's freaking awesome. I got to do so many things, and I've given you like the condensed version of my story, but there's so much to it, you know, just being in the band and all even the karaoke contest. I got to do so much. And now I get to share my songs with you, and I am so grateful for that. I really am. So I just want to thank you for listening, and thank you for letting me tell you this story. And I hope you enjoy my music. I have many more songs to come, and I'll see you in the next video. I appreciate your time. Thank you, and take care.